All right, there's been a lot of free agency moves in the NFL, some big fantasy impact going on, including guys like Sam Darnold on your team, Najee Harris, Josh Palmer. We're talking Javonte Williams, a lot of them. I'm going to talk about where they went, how much they got paid, and what the fantasy impact is. Full episode right here, right now. And as I'm recording this, there's more free agency moves. So make sure you guys are following my Instagram story mode at Fantasy Football Counselor and here on YouTube. Hit the thumbs up, turn on the bell. I'm doing shorts, I'm doing reels, keeping you up to date on some of these big moves and the fantasy impact regarding them, or just a regular impact. Like, should these players be getting paid as much as they should be? So I'm going to cover it right here in the episode. If you're new to the channel, smash or tap and slap, hit the thumbs up, and drop a comment below. Let me know what you guys think of these moves and how you guys are getting prepared for fantasy football. Let me know. Drop it. Are you guys already starting to study? This is fantasy year round here, so I want to get your feedback on what you guys are up to lately here in the off season. All right, so let's dive into it. If you're new to the channel, again, hit the thumbs up, turn on that bell. You don't want to miss the latest news. Oh yeah, and you can pre-order a 16-round draft solution available now for pre-order. First version of the copy coming out 2 weeks after the NFL draft. You'll have all the optimal players drafted in each round. Okay, grab 16 rounds right now. It's available. Okay, so the first move I want to talk about here is Sam Darnold. This is ridiculous. 3-year, $100.5 million, $55 million guarantee. Now, the Seahawks acquire him. This guy was a system quarterback. Listen, system quarterback with the Vikings. Years to wow us, were not wowed. I looked at his stats. They were absolute garbage. He played on, I think, Carolina, San Fran. Where was he? On the Jets. It doesn't matter where he was. I looked at his stats, okay? No double-digit touchdowns his entire career. 7 seasons in, all right? He had this anomaly year, and I'm like, there's always going to be a sucker that's going to buy into that. And the Seahawks are the sucker. They're the guys running Geno Smith. Geno Smith was never a good quarterback. Listen, if you want to win in the NFL, if you want to succeed, you got to be looking to get that franchise guy, the Pat Mahomes, the Josh Allen of the world, the Jalen Hurts. You got to get somebody that's really good, that's got that running upside, outstanding arm, been efficient for years, strong mentality, good leadership. You're just bringing in Sam Darnold. You're just basically wasting another year or two. In this case, a 3-year, $100.5 million deal. Now, there's a chance he has a good year. You know, what does this do to the value of JSN? I know a lot of people are asking. Listen, I like JSN, and I still think he could be a value. It depends on where I get him. Am I going to spend a first or second round pick on him? No. I got to see where he falls. If you got him in Dynasty, definitely worth a keeper now with, Metcalf, being shipped off to the Steelers or wherever he's gone now. At the end of the day, man, Sam Darnold here, I just don't trust him. That's the bottom line. And volume could be good for JSN, but I have my question marks. So I just believe it was a bit of an anomaly here. Those are my thoughts, okay? We got Justin Fields over to the Jets. It's a 2-year deal, $40 million. A guy who's done really nothing here. Now, with Justin Fields, he reunites with Garrett Wilson. They had a couple years at Ohio State, totaling 73 passes, over 1,155 yards, 11 touchdowns in 22 games. So that rapport with Garrett Wilson could come back from college. So Garrett Wilson, Justin Fields, they're getting back together. So I don't know, but you're in Jets town, the cursed town for fantasy football. I just don't trust Justin Fields. I just don't trust the Jets right now. Garrett Wilson obviously can be better value than he was last year, coming off at the end of first round. So we're going to get better value for Garrett Wilson. We're going to have to see what happens with Justin Fields if he gets the nod to start. Probably be getting paid $20 million a year. Very, very possible there, okay? Here we go. This is an interesting one. Jags signed Commanders Dyami Brown for, what is it, a 1-year, $12 million deal. This is really good. Brown wasn't that good, okay, on the Commanders. He was okay, but that's really, really good for Brian Thomas Jr. because it looks like he's the bona fide wide receiver 1. They shipped off Christian Kirk. Things are looking clear for a Brian Thomas Jr. massive year this year with the Jags, okay? Signing a guy like Brown for a 1-year, $12 million means, and even if they draft a rookie, it doesn't matter. It looks like he solidified a spot. And now you're looking at situations with wide receivers where there's like committees at wide receiver where you're not sure who the one is. Example like the Bills, right? They got a bunch of bottom feeder, mid-tier guys, which we'll talk about in a second with the next guy. It's like, okay, who's the one? We don't really know for certain, right? They brought in Amari Cooper last year. He's not going to stay this year. It's like you brought in Amari Cooper. He was an old washed up one. He wasn't even a true one. You bring in Keon Coleman, early round draft capital in the draft. He doesn't really shine, right? You pay Shakira. So it's a bit of a mess with the Browns, but with the Jags, you're getting a clear cut one. Dyami Brown or whatever his name is, You're bringing him in. He was mid receiver at best, subpar, okay? Speaking of subpar, the Bills signed former, this is a really crazy deal. I kind of think I know why this happened, but Bills signed former Chargers wide receiver Josh Palmer to a 3-year, $36 million deal. From what I understand, his agent has ties to the Bills. Won't get too much into it, but that's definitely why Palmer got paid this much, because he's definitely not worth this much. It's Josh Palmer we're talking about. 3-year, $36 million, mediocre, subpar wide receiver, not good. And again, is he going to be the wide receiver one? Is Keon Coleman going to emerge this year? Is Shakir going to be the guy? You don't really have that clarity. And even though Allen throws a lot, he also runs a lot. And then you've got distribution between these wide receivers, which is, again, going to give me a lot of question marks. I look to draft a wide receiver where I know he's going to be the one. That's simple. Now, you can roll the dice on a Palmer later. If you get volume, if you get value for him, you could get some volume, okay? Bengals signed formers. What do we got here on the next news? So who did the Bengals sign? I can't read my own writing here today. Oh, Samaj Perine. Bengals signed Samaje Perine, 2-year, $3.8 million deal. Now that makes sense. Samaj Perine sucks. Some people say you're pronouncing Samaje Perine. No, I'm reading it. Samaj Perine, 2-year, $3.8 million deal. The guy sucks. But 2-year, $3.8 million, that makes a lot more sense than a 3-year, $36 million deal to Josh Palmer. Samaj Perine getting exactly what he should be getting paid, a couple million a year for being a mediocre running back, adding some depth to, the Bengals, which again is not exciting to say the least, okay? Texans signed Chiefs wide receiver Justin Watson. Again, not exciting. Texans, I don't know what's going on. Nico, another situation where he's going to be the bona fide one. You bring in a guy like Justin Watson, not a threat to take that wide receiver one spot, like in Nico now, okay? Dolphins sign Broncos Zach Wilson to a 1-year deal. Another depth piece, nothing to get excited about. Zach Wilson sucks, okay? Here's another shocking one, which makes zero sense to me. But again, we're talking the Giants making stupid moves. Giants signed wide receiver Darius Slayton, guys. He sucks. 3-year, what do you get? $36 million deal. And what's crazy is that they could have signed Saquon to a 3-year, $36 million deal. So that's absolutely crazy, man. Darius Slayton, I don't get it, man. Like, why would you even sign that guy, okay? Pats signed Bill wide receiver Matt Collins, 2-year, $8.4 million deal. Crazy. And the Cowboys signed Javonte. Again, I'm not excited about Matt Collins, just so you know. The Patriots should be looking for an ace wide receiver. The Cowboys signed Javonte Williams, 1-year, $3 million deal. Audric Estime gets a boost here on the Broncos. We're going to see if they draft another running back. I would assume that they do in the draft. Javonte ends up on the Cowboys. He's definitely not going to be the starter. He sucks. I heard Rico Dowell might not end up there. Again, there's more moves happening at the time of this recording that could happen by the time this gets released. And the Chargers signed Najee Harris. Again, I'm not drafting Javonte. I don't care if he's on the Cowboys. I don't care where he is. And the Chargers signed a 1-year deal, $9.5 million deal with Najee Harris on the Chargers. Could be a viable option, but every time I've watched him run, he's always sucked. Mediocre, subpar, average running back, running into piles, has got no vision, no cutting ability, runs hard on a couple runs, but that's it. Mind you, he could be a system running back, whereas a guy like Eckler sucked, did well on the Chargers. That very well could happen in Najee. He's going to get some upside, a bunch of check downs, could get some more volume. I like him better with the Chargers. I just don't like him as a running back. So again, depending on where Najee lands, could be some decent value, could get a lot of volume this year, but nothing I'm getting overly excited about, but definitely gets a boost in overall just value on Najee Harris, just being on a team that's going to probably utilize him a little bit better. But that being said, the Steelers always utilize their running backs well. Le'Veon Bell thrived there. James Conner did well with them. It's just, I don't know, man. Najee, I'm just not a believer in him. I'm not a believer in Javonte. I'm not a believer in Slayton. These guys getting Josh Palmer. These guys getting paid mega deals. Sam Darnold, but just not really good players. It's almost like you're throwing money out the window, okay? So if you're new to the channel, smash, tap, and slap it. Just a quick breakdown. Free agency frenzy. There's going to be more coming. I'm going to keep you guys up to date. Turn on the bell here on my Insta. Make sure you guys are following everywhere. I'm breaking the news here for you. Keep you on top of NFL news, truth to sports, and fantasy football. Subscribe, smash it, tap, and slap it. We'll talk soon, guys. Hope you have an outstanding day. Fantasy football year-round right here. Go pre-order 16 rounds. Bye.